Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, meine Damen und Herren, señores y señoras, mesdames et querer. And now 13 different languages? I hope so at least. Good evening, guten Abend, bonsoir, buonasera, buenas noches, dobry wieczór, dobry wieczór, dobry wieczór, godak, xin chao, ni hao, konnichiwa, annyeong, and shalom, my friends from Israel. Actually, there was a nice person who wrote me an email because I'm going with the all international introductions always, and he reminded me that I, of course, can use the word shalom, in which means hello, peace, something like this in Hebrew. So, and actually I counted this were 14 different languages. I'm really proud of myself. And let's focus a little bit more on this game. So we have Optikzero here in the third game of the US.CraftCup quarterfinals, and it is Optikzero against MK. MK is spawning as the teal Zerk in the bottom left position, going for the gas right away. Production tab tells us more. And Optikzero is spawning as the pink Protoss. I just love to say pink Protoss on the top right position here. And ZVP. So Optikzero won the first game, Forge opener. He was able to, with the double Stargate play, to defend Nidus Worm attack. Then he transitioned into Blink Stalkers, and those well-microed Blink Stalkers, in addition to his third base in total, was enough for him to defeat a Zergling Roach Hydralisk army. And the second game, on the other hand, MK took it because Optikzero was just not paying attention to his wall-off, lost all of his units in the process, and so they are currently tied up 1-1, and the reason why I was not talking for the moment was I was admiring this pylon positioning, because it's kind of far away from the ramp, but it's still near enough to power the gateway, power the cybernetics core, and to have this zealot here blocking this area. So it's actually very, very good. There's no big surface area for Zerglings. There are no weak buildings, for example, like a pylon, which gets taken out pretty easily. So in the end, I like this sort of wall-off really, really much, and from now on I will try to copy it and be happy about it. So, 2 more gates coming up by Optikzero. Maybe this time he will be a little bit more successful with a fast expansion, but it is much harder on Zellnager caverns to protect a natural expansion than, for example, on Scrap Station. And Optikzero, once again, he's very aggressive. He needs to watch out. I mean, his sentry is out there anyway, and he's playing very risky with the zealot. And he just told us in the chat that he lost the same way on the Team Liquid Open, so he must not be feeling happy about this. Meanwhile, the hatchery is en route for MK, still another 25 seconds from being finished, and by the way, beer opening ceremony coming up as soon as this quarterfinal is finished. And there we see the first indicator of some possible expansion play by Optikzero. There we see the warp gates just finished. The sentry will come out. He's got enough minerals already to go for the Nexus right away. Yes, he goes for the Nexus. There we see 2 more sentries, so we will have 5 sentries in total. But sentries, of course, not the fastest units, not the best units to handle some speedlings. But fortunately enough for Optikzero, there are not many speedlings out on the field right now, because there's only 2 speedlings in total, and those 2 speedlings just are there for scouting purposes. They will spot the forge, they will spot the Nexus, and is Optikzero once again using all of his forces to chase down 2 Zerglings. Is he still not completing the wall-off? Yes, he is not. So Not really sure if I like it. And what is MK doing on the other hand? So he's doing quite a lot of stuff. First, he is started the lair. He's going for the second extractor. He built a 1-2 spine crawlers, and he just finished with a roach warren. So but he's not building that many drones, and we can see he's not supply blocked. He's got enough lava, and he's got enough minerals. And now we see what I wanted to talk about. He needs to get some drones. He's currently producing 8 more drones. So he is at 38 harvesters right now, 31 currently for Optikzero, whose next is just finished. There we see even the 10 drone and 10 probes. Maynard transfer fortress finished, plus one not coming up yet because he needs some gas, and he is going for the robo facility. Robo facility will be finished in 5 seconds, so he's going for some gas intense units. So he needs a Vespine geyser up and running, so 2 assimilators at the natural would be pretty nice, but looks like at the moment he's still focusing on mineral income. Oh, not yet. Getting a 3rd assimilator. I can understand the pylon placement, but really would like him placing 2 pylons behind the bushes here, to the entrance to the secret hallway. And if you didn't watch today's GSL games, go watch them. They are just absolutely awesome. Absolutely worth to watch. And what is MK doing? So he's going for the borer, and this is what I really like. Lately, more and more Zerg players decided to go for the borer right away, not only in addition to the tunneling clause, because even though without the tunneling clause the roaches are not able to move when they are bored, but and they're not healing so fast, but they still heal quite a lot faster than without anything at all. So just borrow injured roaches is always a good strategy to go for. He's getting the +1 as well. On the other hand, Optikzero, he finished with his first immortal. There we see the second immortal is currently being chrono boosted, now going for the +1 as well, putting up another gate somewhere. There it is. I would really like this gate, by the way, at this location. And still no pylons behind the bushes. MK got rid of the destructible rocks. Yes, we just saw it, by the way, from the roaches. Going for the second expansion here on the bottom right low ground. There are the roaches. Roaches moving out, and it's time for a harvester check. 51 for Optikzero, 44 for MK. It is time for the supply check. 91 against 100. And it is time for the spending tab check. No, it is not. Let's go back to the production tab. Roaches are moving out. How many sentries does he have? Of course, a shitload of sentries. All those sentries with very much energy. And Zerglings trying to move in from the left side. Actually, no need to force the shit out of there. And Optikzero is playing very passive. He could have killed just much more stuff, and I have no idea why MK keeps on being aggressive. I mean, he should have known this is not the best way to attack at this location. So the force field just obliterating and annihilating the forces here of MK. At the same time, Optikzero mid-click here with the Stalker. Stalker will go down. There he is dead. MK can move back. The Hatchery here on the low ground finished. He's going for the just finished with the Hydralist then as well. So the Hydralist even can profit from the +1. And looks like no, never mind. I just wanted to say, looks like Optikzero is he really the kind of player who doesn't like Colossus or what? But he is going for the Colossus, got the second one even queued up. Chrono Boost is what we just saw here on the robotics bay. So Thermal Lens Colossi are on the move, and now 3 Immortals. He got about 8 Stalkers, he got about 7 Sentries, and just warped in more gate units. So really relying much more on the gate units. It's not like it's double robo all the way, so only producing Colossi out of one single base. And it's time for the supply check once again, and MK was able to catch up in terms of supply, even though he lost more than a necessary. Destructor Rock still alive. How many Hydras does he actually have? 6 Hydras for the moment, 22 Roaches. We see 8 more Hydras en route. Plus Run is getting researched right now as well. But, I mean, he's got the double evolution chamber, but not researching the +2 attack, even though he would have enough resources to do so. So, not really agreeing with the choice, especially the +1 should be so much more important. Changeling gets taken out, and the animation of a Changeling dying in flames is actually really awesome. With the heads in the air, oh no! Oh. And now the Roaches are retreating. Of course, you don't want to fight this sentry force on close spots. Maybe a nice fungal growth here on the sentries would help out, but now the Roaches are attacking, and of course the force fields will tear them apart. Interestingly enough, he was able to just get out there in time. Observer is in there for Optikzero, so no burrow play possible, at least for the moment. This Nexus for Optikzero, and the Gold Mineral expansion just finished. Meanwhile, the +1 for the Roaches is just finished as well. He's going for the Spire too, and just getting more Roaches. So the +1/+1. How about the Tunneling Claws? No, he's not starting those. He's not going for the +2 attack. He's not going for the +2 armor, and he should really do this. And misplaced Colossus. This Colossus should have been taken out very easily. And yeah, maybe this was a wrong rally point, but now we see 6 Corruptors in production for MK, but those Corruptors take 40 seconds, now another 30 seconds to finish. Maybe he just needs to send some single units in there, buy himself some time. There we see the single circling, and just a complete army of Optikzero. He really likes chasing single units with battalions of units. Now he's moving down to the low ground. The expansion at the low ground will go down for sure, unless MK is buying himself a little bit more time. Now the Corruptors are out. He's just waiting for the Corruptors to arrive. Here we go. No, not enough cooldown just yet on the corruption ability, so he needs to sacrifice this hatchery for more Roaches idling here at the bottom low ground expansion. And now MK is trying to cut the army here of Optikzero. He's got 4 impressive force, to be honest. 4 Colossi, shitload of sentries. I mean 10 sentries, so it's infinite force fields, it's infinite guardian shields, and just to add injury to insult all those stalkers, then I don't see a way how MK will be able to take this game with just too many force fields. And we saw already that Optikzero is doing a brilliant job at placing those force fields just to protect his own units and apply some pressure and damage at the same time. I mean, MK is back to 2 bases. On the other hand, Optikzero is happily mining here at the gold mineral location, and this is really looking good for Optikzero right now. We take a look at the supply, 189, 147, so a 40 supply lead for Optikzero. He's got the better upgrades, 2 attack, 1 armor. Meanwhile, it's just the 1/1 for MK, and now he's moving in, finally going for the final bit. But we take a look at the supply. We see that MK is just dropping, and there we see the GG. So congratulations, Optikzero. He's advancing to the semifinals in tonight's Craft Cup on the US service. And just let me check which Craft Cup it actually is. And of course it is Craft Cup 19 on the US service. And Big T won against Arlok from VT. Lightning won against Thorson, so Big T is now facing playing against Lightning. And I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He is now playing against Optikzero. So I'm feeling for Optikzero right now, so I want to cast this game next. Just getting some confirmation. Oh, stop the VOD, by the way. Boom, here we go.